And in breaking news, the Victorian election campaign is now officially underway. The writs have been signed ahead of caretaker mode beginning tonight for the Victorian state election later this month. Our Victoria political reporter Simon Love joins us from Government House. Simon, what's happening there this morning?
Morning, Kenny. Well, the writs for the election to be run on November the 26th have been signed by the Victorian Governor Linda Dessau and the state's electoral commissioner Warwick Gately. It was a short ceremony held inside here at Government House in the state room where the writs and as well advice from the Premier of Victoria was presented to Linda Dessau. She then signed those documents effectively from 6 p.m. tonight, dissolving both houses of the Victorian Parliament, the Legislative Assembly and the Legislative Council, and also setting in motion the formal proceedings that would allow an election to take place later this month. Now, in 2 weeks' time, early voting will get underway. So Victorians essentially will be seeing a lot more of their political leaders over the coming weeks. Now today, Matthew Guy, who is down in Melbourne's southeastern suburbs, he'll be focusing on energy policy. Daniel Andrews, though, is having a bit more of a low-key day, focusing on the floods, with the Labor government giving a flood update later this morning, and also word that the Premier may visit a flood region later today. So as for whether official campaigning will take place from Labor, it seems not, given that the writs will actually come into effect at 6 o'clock tonight. So effectively, day zero of the state election campaign. Labor certainly looking in the box seat when you look at the published polls, but certainly the coalition hoping to gain ground, particularly in outer suburban metropolitan areas, as well some seats that they're hoping to claw back that they lost at the 2018 state election. So the writ's been issued here at Government House.
Simon, take us through caretaker mode. What does it mean for the state over the next month?
Essentially, it means that the government cannot make any decisions without consulting the opposition. So ultimately, most of the Premier's private staff or the Minister's private staff, they move over to campaign headquarters. They work for the party for the next month. That also occurs in the Leader of the Opposition's office. So essentially no major government decisions can take place. As well, advice is issued to public servants. Sky News has obtained advice that's been issued to staff at the Royal Children's Hospital, with one staff member at that hospital claiming to me that it may go as far enough to be a gag order, a claim that the hospital's denied. But in that advice, the hospital says staff cannot use their public sector position to support or criticise particular issues, policies, parties or candidates in an election campaign. All staff need to be careful about what they publish on social media. Any content shared must be factual, not indicate support for any political party. There's also advice regarding media that staff should remain apolitical and not provide any public comment that is or may be perceived as political in nature, as supporting a political party or candidate, or that is connected to election issues. So a strong warning there to public servants for the coming month. But essentially, the starter's gun called on the Victorian election, and expect campaign to ramp up tomorrow.